What if, what if you could lie down? I know you love being in the camera, but you can sit down and be in the camera too. Yes, you can. Make a YouTube, they said. It will be fun, they said. I'm wondering if she has an OnlyFans account. Anywho, what if these... What if all of the uncomfortable feelings that seems to come with making major life choices or changes that often leads to us not sticking to the plan or giving up because we get uncomfortable? What if these feelings are actually misunderstood? What if these uncomfortable feelings are actually there to help us? So just stay with me. Because if you've been watching any of my rants recently, you you've seen that I am feeling a lot of discomfort, a lot of resistance, restlessness, hopelessness. I don't know even what to call it, but after I made the choice of leaving my secure full-time job that I had been going to for 8 years and deciding to start my own company and start working for myself, because I've always felt this need to do something useful for me and for the world. So I decided to leave my job behind and start a new chapter of my life, and it felt so good. And then after a couple of months passed, I didn't feel good anymore. And the ironic thing was the whole reason I did it was that I wanted to find ways to help others feel good. And yeah, that's kind of ironic, right? But I got uncomfortable after a couple of months, and I've been questioning my choices, as we do. Did I make the right choice? Why am I not feeling better when I followed my inner voice, my gut feeling, and decided to do what felt right for me? And in the moment, as I made that choice, it felt so good. I was sure I would continue to feel good. So when I started feeling bad, of course, I started second guessing or questioning my choices. But it just dawned on me, why do I feel uncomfortable? Is it because my gut feeling is telling me I did the wrong thing? Of course it's not. If I felt that good while making the choice and I actually got to making it in the first place after being there for 8 years, that's a huge choice, right, Lottie? Yes, it's a huge choice. So why would I do that and go through that if it was just supposed to make me feel bad? If it was the wrong thing to do. So obviously it can't be. That's where I'm at today, but it just made me think, is there another reason for me feeling all of these uncomfortable feelings when I'm supposed to feel good? And then I thought, well, why did you leave the job in the first place? It was because I was feeling too comfortable where I was. I had this thought in my head all of those years that this is a great place to stay until I find the right job for me or the right thing to do for me. So I'll stay here and I'll keep my search open. But the thing is, I kept my search open for 8 years and the perfect job never appeared. So that means I got too comfortable in knowing that I had this safe, secure job, this stable line of income. I loved my colleagues and the working environment and everything, but I just knew I was meant to do something else, right? But it was too comfortable when I could live that way. And so I stayed for 8 years when I thought I would stay for 8 months. So the thing is, the whole reason I made this choice was that I was getting too comfortable. And now I followed my gut feeling, I listened to my inner voice, I finally made the right decision for me. And then after a while, I started feeling uncomfortable. And that's the feeling I've been second guessing, right? But what I found is what had happened in the months leading up to me feeling uncomfortable again. Well, I was so lucky that I got this opportunity to work as a consultant for someone else after I started my own company. And I thought, wow, this is great because I do need a stable source of income for a while. I have bills to pay, right? And the thing is, I made that choice of leaving my old job before knowing what was the next line of work for me or the next chapter for me. And I had to do it that way because I knew I needed to put pressure on myself because I was obviously too comfortable and not putting myself out there. I was just staying where I was, right? So yeah, I started feeling uncomfortable after a couple of months working as a consultant for someone else because that was getting comfortable again. I had this source of income and I found myself, as the days passed, time went quicker and quicker, and I couldn't find the time or energy to work on the thing I was actually going to work on, which is to find the ways I want to share or help people feel better about themselves. That was the whole reason I decided to leave my old job in the first place. But just shortly after I got this consultant opportunity, I found myself falling back into the old patterns already of getting too comfortable, of getting, oh, I can do that later. Right now I'm working here and I have a source of income. I can make ends meet right now. And then I kind of forgot why I did this in the first place. So my point is, I have been misunderstanding these feelings of uncomfortableness that I've had the past couple of months, making me second guess my choice to start a new chapter in my life. And I thought, is it because I made the wrong one? But now I see it's there to keep me moving forward. Because if I didn't get these uncomfortable feelings, maybe I would just do the same thing all over again, work for someone else and get comfortable. But that's not why I'm doing this. I'm here to do the things that feels right for me and to share what I feel like I have to share or want to share with the world, what I have experienced, and so what I want to help other people experience. So, of course, I need to get uncomfortable again. So instead of us letting these uncomfortable feelings that often come with making changes or choices, instead of believing that we're doing the wrong thing or we should go back into our old ways, what if we just listen to them and actually ask, why are you here, uncomfortable feeling? What are you trying to tell me? Because the second I did that, I saw, I saw a lot of things right now, but I saw that, wow, I'm feeling uncomfortable because if I didn't, I would get too comfortable and then I wouldn't move forward. So because of these uncomfortable feelings and me finally asking what they meant, I now know I need to keep moving. I need to take time to remind myself the reason for why I made these changes or choices in the first place. Because it's very typical for us to get comfortable in what we know even though what we know is kind of uncomfortable. We like the familiar feeling. We like recognizing things, or our minds like that. So, but my mind can be fooled by my ego, and my ego wants things to stay the same because the same is not dangerous. It's not a threat, but the new chapter in my life is a threat for my ego because it doesn't know how to categorize it or respond to it because it's never done it before. And so it gets scared. So, yeah, I don't know if this makes sense to anyone, but it makes sense to me. Let's just, because I think a lot of us just fall off the wagon or kind of stop doing these new, better things for ourselves when we get these uncomfortable feelings because we think it means that, oh, this wasn't for me after all, or I didn't like this as much as I thought I would. But that's bogus. That's bogus. We do know what we want. But our ego will always sneak in there and try to tell us something else. And the thing is, it's not because the ego wants us to be unhappy. Quite the opposite. But the thing is, our ego thinks the way to keep us happy is to keep us in the familiar. But that's not the truth. So I needed to ask myself, why do I feel this way? Why don't I feel better about these choices I made? And then when I finally asked that question, instead of just noticing the bad feeling and spiraling on it, when I actually asked myself, why am I feeling uncomfortable in something I thought would make me feel only good? I got that answer because I need to feel uncomfortable to move on and to stay in this new chapter instead of falling back to the old ones. And that's something. For me, that's something. And I'm hoping that for some of you, it can be something too. Because how many of us have started great things and just at some point stopped? The world could be filled of so many great things that we deprived it from because we misunderstood these feelings that came with the choices we made. So let's not do that. Thank you for listening.